It's it's thundering outside, you guys. I love that. And when it's lightning and monsoon is my favorite. I wanted to do a story time today and just like chill inside and be cozy. So, if you have a beverage or a snack, you can chill out and relax because I have a pretty crazy story. This is probably top 3 scariest experiences. It wasn't like exactly near death, but it was definitely like struggling living. This was in the time where I lived in a neighborhood. There was a beautiful couple that lived down the road. They had a business where they grew and sold sprouts, like all different types. And this couple were like incredibly brainy. Like they knew all the different plant species. Uh, Going to their house was just like a course on botany, and I was just getting educated. Ooh, there's some thunder. Basically, when they invited me to go mushroom hunting for dinner, because we would always share dinner, I was really excited because I knew they were going to teach me all the different species. So, what we did was we planned to meet up, and I actually had already had plans that night with my best friend. She got us tickets to go see Deva Primal. So I was really excited. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make dinner with my friends, and then I'm gonna go meet up with my other friends, and I was excited. And the goal was to find these particular mushrooms that were obviously not psychedelic. I was in a time in my life where I had already gotten through that phase. I'm not going to hide it from you guys. When I was younger, I dated a guy that was like a rock star in a band, and we just like literally would do mushrooms and listen to Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd. And that was my phase, okay? I've been very clear with you guys that like yeah, I've had my experience with psychedelics, but after a time they don't really serve you. And this was in a phase in my life where, I wanted to learn about the mushrooms. I wasn't trying to like trip. And so when we had made dinner, we were really focused on finding that strain of mushroom that was not psychedelic. They were really excited to go themselves and find this mushroom because it was really delicious. Like they had eaten it multiple times before, and I just was really trusting of the experience. And this is why I'm making this video, because this is just like the biggest mistake that like I've ever made, and I paid dearly for it. So anyway, we go when we hunt for the mushrooms. We're seeing the lobster mushrooms. There's all these beautiful, different little ones, and they find the species. And so we go home, we eat dinner, and we all have the mushrooms. And I was like, cool, you guys, I gotta go. It's like 7. I gotta be at this concert by 8. And I just go home. I start getting ready. Things are normal. And I get to the phase where I'm on my way to the concert. And that's when I notice things are a little bit too, like, technicolor. Things are looking a little strange. Like, I didn't quite know what was going on yet. But anyway, I meet up with my friend that got us the tickets, and we sit down in this concert. And like I said, I'm not in the mode to trip. This music was like, for me, I was like going to worship and just like be in my spirit. And I definitely was not trying to get all crazy wild. So basically, like 10 minutes into the music, like Deva comes out. I'm just like feeling otherworldly. With every song that Deva would play, there would be this peeling back of layers, like an onion. I was being unveiled to, and I was like, whoa, this music's really good. But then I was like, no, something is not right. It was getting so heavy and powerful, and my stomach didn't feel right. Oh my God, I love the thunder in the background. So I ended up telling my friend. She was standing right next to me. She was seeing me, like, and we were really close. Like, this was one of my best friends, and she knew me. Like, she could look in my eyes and knew that I was, like, where I was. And she was like, oh, crap. Something, what'd you do? And I was like, mushrooms, dinner time. I don't know. But I knew. Woo. I knew it was, yeah, it was coming down on me. So anyway, an hour goes by of probably the most trippiest, most lucid, like waking state. I was afraid for my life. I kept going out into the lobby. My friend had to hold me, and she's like tinier than me. And she literally had to like hold me. People knew it was sort of a scene, like people were watching. It was embarrassing. I was like, I can't do this. I'm not only like tripping, I feel like I'm poisoned. All the different families of mushrooms were presenting themselves to me. I had no idea that there was such an organism. When you think of mushrooms, you think of just like this cute little sprout, maybe it's red with little white dots. No, mushrooms are akin to the aspen species. They are one of the hugest organisms on this planet, and the consciousness of this mushroom being was completely making itself known to me. So as the concert went by, I had a awakening on a level that you can't even imagine. Somehow I got home. I really don't even remember how I got home. She must have drove me because I spent 4 days in a bed after that, trying to reassort my reality, trying to remember my name. That's how far gone. And you're probably thinking of the people, what happened to them? They had absolutely no reaction. And I watched the entire situation. These mushrooms came from the same source, the same place. They had eaten them before. I had a reaction. An allergic reaction at that. A reaction on a cellular, it was like a neurosis that I went through. My brain chemistry completely altered itself through this experience. That's how powerful this plant is. I mean, and looking back on this story in hindsight, I don't regret it. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Deva, if you've ever experienced her music, I don't know her personally. I don't know her background. All I know is her music helped unveil the universe to me while I was dangling on a string, trying to remember my identity as a human. And I just want to say, like, yes, always be careful of what you consume. And so, the moral of the story is always use your highest judgment, no pun intended, when consuming anything from the fungus family. Trust me.